Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in today. Today I am going to show you how I set up my Reason Redrum for full control over each individual channel on the actual Redrum computer. For time purposes, I've kind of already created all my mixers and Redrum and channels, but I have not wired anything, so I'll kind of show you the process of going through this. So the first thing I like to do is create an actual drum mixer. Or I'm sorry, just a mix channel here. Then we're going to do the micro mix underneath of that. I'll show you the reason I put this under here a little later on. This is actually going to be hosting the Spider audio splitter kind of effects that we use. I will next create a Redrum computer, and this is where we'll load our samples and be able to sequence our drums. Then I create 10 mix channels, which will route to each channel in the Redrum to kind of give us full control in the SSL mixer on the other screen. So the first thing we're going to do is flip to the back, and we're going to immediately wire out this master out into the input of our first mix channel, which I've named Master Drums. And then I'm going to chain this micro mix through the mixer. We will then start routing our drums. The first thing we want to do, while holding shift because we want to do mono sends, is start routing these to the corresponding mix channel. If we open this up, because I want to take full advantage of this audio splitter, we're now going to run out of this mix channel 1 into the splitter, and then from out of the splitter into the drum mixer 1. This basically allows us to have 3 extra copies of this actual drum signal to send to effects if you like. So basically we'll go through each channel and do this. Again, while holding shift. So you guys get the idea. I'm not going to go through the whole thing here. Just do the first 4 channels there. Flip back to the other screen. Well, now what this is doing is going to give me full control over each individual Redrum channel in this mixer. We'll want everything pan left in this Redrum. That is because we're sending out the left channel. And we'll control panning now through the mixer. So it'll be a mono signal coming through the mixer here. What I like about this is now opens up 4 sends as opposed to 2 that we had just in the Redrum. We get some control over our treble and bass here. We also, what's really nice about this is because we're running each drum channel through an actual mix channel here, if we flip to the SSL mixer view, we can take advantage of these full channel strips on each individual drum channel. Let's go back here. I'm just going to close these down for visual purposes. Now let's load a couple samples in here just so you have a general idea. How we can route things here. So we'll take that kick, get a snare, and then we'll get a hi-hat. Let's do this first guy here. like open hats. We'll do one of these. Perfect. I'm actually going to slow down the length on that hat just a hair. Notice it had a little tail to it. Okay, so let's just draw on a basic beat here and let it loop. So I did kick on all the downbeats, snare on the 5 and 13, and then we'll do the hi-hat on the 3, 7, 11, and 15. So as you can see now we have individual control over here. I'll pan out my hat, maybe a little to the right. Now, as you can see, they're running through each mix channel here. We flip to the SSL compressor. We've got it running fully through here. Now, say I like to put a little, like a little scream or scream distortion on the drums or a little reverb. What we'll do next is go up to this master drums mix channel that I made. Show effects. It looks like I've already created these prior to the video, but they are not wired. So I would just, create these and put this in the rack here. We'll flip that around. And we're going to do sends from our drum mixer to the input of the scream and then back out into the return. And we'll do the same thing for the reverb unit. We'll send out into the reverb, then out of the reverb into the return here. As you can see now, we have a scream and reverb send. So let's put a little bit of the scream and verb on the snare. Definitely add some punch, put a little bit on the kick as well. Add some verb to the snare. Sounds good. Okay. What we'll do now, we're going to play with some delay on the snare. We're going to do that by using, well, there's two different ways we can do it. We can either put a insert effects on the snare channel here, or we can send a copy of the actual snare channel through the audio splitter to the actual delay. So we can maintain our original snare hit and kind of blend it with a new affected snare hit. That's the way I like to do it. But we have the option of doing both here. Okay, so here we have our splitter. What I'm going to do is hold shift again. I like to generally wire things myself in here. And we're going to find a delay. So now we have a delay. Let's flip that over. And we're going to take the copy of this while holding shift, go to the input of the delay, and then we need to run out of that. And this is going to go into that little tiny micro mixer that I created earlier. This is basically, I named this spider effects, so it's going to host. You can see our delay is right here. And what's cool about putting it in here, in the future if we wanted, we can take the delay signal and create a send from here to another effect and just affect just that delay signal. Okay, so let's coupling, as you can see. You can hear the original snare signal and you can hear the delay afterwards. You can actually pan the delay out. Granted, this is through my computer speaker, so you are probably not going to hear the panning on this. Take the feedback down a little bit. You just barely hear it. And you can kind of play with how much of that delay you want to come through. Play with some of the different presets here. Going to toggle it on and off. So that is the general idea of how I like to set up my Redrum for kind of full control. And I mean, it's endless now with this setup. We can even go over to here and do, we have up to 8 stems that we can do just for that snare. So it's really cool. You get full control. You get the great EQ on this SSL mixer. It takes a little while to set up, but what I generally do is just save this as a template once I have it set up, and every time I open up a new session, I have it automatically open up this template, so we're ready to go. That is it. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I can also just show you guys how to do this with the Kong drum computer, if you like, running that through the actual Redrum, so we can use the sequencer of Redrum, but all of the cool effects in Kong. Thanks.